Okay, let's dive in. We've got this really interesting stack of sources here today. Articles, research notes, all looking at, well, one of the greats. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Absolutely. Such an iconic group, formed by Maurice White way back in '69, and they just created this sound, this
Hmm.
blend of soul, funk, jazz, rock. It was something else.
Yeah, totally unique. And so our mission for this deep dive really is to unpack their magic, their influence over, what, 5 decades now?
Right. But also to kind of push back on this idea that it's all just nostalgia fueling their success today.
Exactly, because the sources suggest there's way more to it. It's a story about real adaptability, real creativity.
Yeah, it's not just about remembering the good old days. It's about understanding how a band like this actually stays relevant, keeps innovating for like half a century in this crazy music business.
Staying relevant for 50 plus years. That's just wild when you think about the changes.
Totally. They came up with disco and funk,
Right.
right? Then survived punk, the rise of hip hop.
The whole digital streaming explosion, and now this algorithm world we live in. How did they navigate that?
Well, adaptability and innovation seem to be the key, based on these sources. Maurice White, from the start, had this vision, bringing in horns, different kinds of percussion, spiritual themes. Rolling Stone did a piece in 2023 that really highlighted how that unique mix kept them sounding fresh, even as trends shifted.
And even after Maurice sadly passed away in 2016, the band kept going. Phil Bailey, Verdi and White, they're still leading it, still touring.
And thriving, not just going through the motions. Billboard reported their 2024 shows, the 55th anniversary ones, selling out massive places. Madison Square Garden.
Well, yeah, see, that's not just legacy, that's current demand.
Right, it flies in the face of that old industry idea that acts from that era just sort of fade out.
Definitely. And they even put out an album, 2021, Now, Then and Forever.
Yeah, and sources noted how it smartly mixed their classic horns with, more modern production.
And it did pretty well, right? Hit number 12 on the Billboard R&B chart. Shows they can still connect.
For sure. And you see these little moments too. Like, there was this post on X in 2025 from a Gen Z kid saying September was their workout anthem.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That shows the music itself just works, regardless of when you were born.
Exactly. It cuts across generations.
So that whole idea that it's just nostalgia, it really starts to crumble right there.
Mm-hmm. Their longevity isn't about being frozen in time. It's about evolving, changing just enough maybe, without losing who they are.
Yeah, that evolution is what keeps the legacy alive, not just preserved in amber.
And what's so cool is how innovative they were right from the jump. It wasn't just one sound, it was this fusion.
Right. Soulful feeling, funky rhythms, jazz improvisation, a bit of rock energy, all mixed together.
And those unique bits they brought in, their signatures, like the kalimba, that African thumb piano sound.
Oh yeah, that shimmering sound.
Mhm.
So distinctive.
And the horns, the phoenix horns especially. Just incredible arrangements, almost like another voice in the songs. NPR did a great piece on that in 2024, actually.
And that sound, it definitely rubbed off on other artists.
Hugely. Prince said they were a big influence. And you hear echoes today, right? Like Billboard pointed out in 2022 how Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak's Silk Sonic project really tapped into that EWF funk soul vibe.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
And their lyrics, too, often had these themes of, unity, spirituality.
Yeah, really positive messages. That's the way of the world. Huge hit in '75. Message of hope during some tough times.
And it wasn't just a U.S. thing either. Their reach was global.
Definitely. Oricon, which is like Japan's Billboard, reported a Japanese artist, DIY Way, sampled Fantasy in 2023, hit number 5 on the J-pop charts.
See, that's lasting impact. Decades later, across the world.
Which is why it feels so limiting when people just say, oh yeah, 70s nostalgia.
Right. When you see their influence baked into so much modern music, even the kind of fusion acts getting Grammy looks now, it proves it's about the innovation. That's the living part of the legacy.
And maybe the best proof is just the songs themselves, how much they still get played, streamed, loved.
Oh, absolutely. Let's talk about some of those hits. That's The Way of the World, the album from '75. Foundational.
Totally. And it gave us Shining Star, Grammy winner, #1 hit. That uplifting vibe.
Still feels good to hear it. RIAA data says it sold over 2 million copies.
And then, well, you got to talk about September from the '78 Greatest Hits album.
Oh, September. It's more than a song, isn't it? It's like a cultural event every year.
It really is that Buddy Yahoo,
Yeah.
Pure Joy, hit #1 naturally. And get this, the RIA certified it Diamond in 2023.
Diamond. That's 10 million units.
10 million. And streaming. Sources show over 500 million Spotify plays by 2024.
500 million plays now. That just blows up the whole, oh, it's just an old song idea. That's huge engagement today.
Exactly. Way more than a lot of current hits get. Then there was Boogie Wonderland in '79 with The Emotions.
What a track. Disco, funk, all that energy still fills a dance floor.
Reached number 6 and even popped up in like a big TikTok trend in 2025, generated over 1 million views.
Still relevancy.
Uh,
And we can't skip Let's Groove from '81. That synth beat.
Hit number 3. Such a jam. Or the flip side, the ballad After the Love Has Gone from '79.
Oh, beautiful song. Peaked at number 2. Philip Bailey's falsetto on that. Just incredible.
Unmistakable. And across their whole career, Sony Music estimates something like 90 million records sold worldwide by 2024.
90 million. And those themes in the songs, love, resilience, coming together, they don't feel dated.
Not at all. They still connect. This isn't a dusty oldies act. It's living music.
Which brings us to a really key moment that sort of cemented everything, didn't it? That 1975 Billboard Music Awards performance.
Oh yeah, legendary is the right word. Broadcast live, they did a medley right. Shining Star, and That's the Way of the World.
Yes. And the descriptions of it. Billboard's archives talk about the choreography, the huge orchestra, like 20 pieces.
Plus just their energy, their stage presence, the musicianship, Maurice White playing the kalimba, Philip Bailey hitting those notes.
Must have been electrifying to watch. Standing ovation, right? And it won them a Grammy for Best R&B Performance.
It did. And the impact was immediate. Like, a 1976 Ebony interview quoted Stevie Wonder calling it a new standard for live shows.
Wow, Stevie Wonder's saying that. And the sales bump. Nielsen data show their album sales jumped 300% after that performance in '75.
300%. So it wasn't just a great show, it was a career catalyst. And its influence lasted. You see bands like The Roots, D'Angelo citing that specific performance as inspiration in articles, even in 2024.
Right, so calling it just their peak feels incomplete. It was foundational. Its ripples are still felt. You see tribute shows, people still talking about it online today, praising the energy. It launched something enduring.
Definitely wasn't just a high point they came down from.
So let's kind of wrap this up by looking at that common view again. The tendency to just file Earth, Wind, and Fire under '70s nostalgia.
Yeah, overlooking all this evolution, this innovation we've been talking about.
Right, they were blending genres way before it was the norm. And sure, nostalgia plays a part, but it doesn't explain everything. Not when a song like September sees a 15% streaming spike on TikTok in 2024, according to MRC data.
That's new engagement, not just old memories. That's discovery.
Exactly. And that '75 performance, yeah, it was amazing. But it was their ability to keep adapting after that through all the industry changes that really cemented their long-term relevance.
It's the adaptability that keeps the legacy breathing.
So yeah, this whole deep dive really challenges that static view. Their magic isn't just remembering, it's in how they kept evolving and connecting.
Absolutely. Their legacy is undeniable, but it's also dynamic. It's in the timeless hits like Shining Star, September that still resonate. It's in that innovative sound that shaped R&B and more. And yeah, it's in moments like that '75 show that were springboards.
Their ability to mix their core sound with new ideas means their influence isn't just history. It feels current.
It makes you think, though, doesn't it, about that balance.
Yes.
Staying true to your roots, your core thing, but also adapting, embracing change like they did.
Yeah, so that may be a model for lasting impact, not just in music, but like anywhere, any field.
It's a fascinating thought. How does that mix of tradition and innovation let something really great not just survive, but actually keep inspiring people through changing times?
Something to chew on. We've seen how EWF's relevance really stems from that constant innovation and adapting, which pushes back hard against the simple nostalgia label.
Their fusion-shaped music, the hits are still huge. That '75 performance was a launch pad.
Yeah, not just a peak. Their legacy isn't stuck in the past.
It's a living force. Still groovy.
So we'll leave you with that idea to consider. How does blending tradition and innovation like Earth, Wind, and Fire did so masterfully allow greatness to endure and stay fresh across the years? It's definitely something worth thinking about.